First, let me express my condolences to the family of Mr. Matthew Ogden, who died following the accident on January 14th on Merrill Road. This incident involved our patrol officer, Marcus Kilpatrick, and has been greatly reported on. I need to explain that when a JSO officer is involved in a crash on duty where there is a life-threatening injury or death, two things happen as a matter of course. We call upon the Florida Highway Patrol to conduct the investigation, and when the injuries to the officers or citizens are critical or a death occurs, we place the officer on administrative leave pending a psychological return-to-duty assessment. Both have occurred in this case. The investigation by FHP is theirs to comment about, and we do not comment on the criminal investigations of other agencies until they are completed. It's also important to note that our own administrative investigations, whether it's the Safety Board or any other JSO administrative investigation, does not begin until the criminal investigation is complete. This is because of the Garrity Rule, which resulted from a U.S. Supreme Court decision. The Garrity Rule provides that if an officer is compelled to give any statement in an administrative investigation, those compelled statements would not be admissible should there be a subsequent criminal investigation. For that reason, we allow the criminal investigation to come to its conclusion before proceeding with our administrative investigations. This process is law. If I fail to honor the integrity of this process, I risk losing my ability to hold officers accountable at a later date. I made the decision to remove Officer Kilpatrick from full duty status when I was made aware of the black box recovered from the vehicle had indicated a very high rate of speed. As all of you know, in the case of Officer Kilpatrick, I have already determined that this case will go immediately to JSO Internal Affairs Unit when FHP has concluded their criminal investigation and the State Attorney's Office has concluded theirs. This is because I want it reviewed by JSO for possible violations of state law, adherence to policy and procedures, and adherence to training. There are times police officers are allowed to operate outside the traffic laws. Our policies require that when an officer does operate his or her vehicle outside of the traffic laws, that they properly utilize emergency equipment, taking into consideration due regard for life and property. But there are tactical exceptions to the rule. My job is to make sure that when these incidents occur, they are closely reviewed, and if an officer acts improperly or not according to our procedures or other training, to address that. That is why it's so important to let our fact-finding, evidence-based, thorough administrative process take place and let the public know what that process is and what the outcome may be. If we need to change a policy or an operating procedure or our own training methods, or as a result of these investigations or advancements in technology or a better tactic, we will. That addresses the second incident involving Officer Amanda Meyer, who was involved in a rear-end collision with a tanker truck on Zoo Parkway. FHP is investigating that incident as well, and for that reason I can't say much about that, except I know it was reported that the officer was looking at her laptop. We've been asked if there is a specific policy regarding its use while operating the police car. Our policy speaks to the need for officers to operate their vehicles safely, but does not specifically reference the laptop. The device is integral to the success of our daily operations, however. Both incidents will be reviewed administratively, and we'll know more when that process is concluded.